Hey, what's up, y'all? I just wanted to thank you for your patience in the last few days. I haven't been able to upload much, so I just wanted to get back on the horse and finally getting caught up on everything else that's outside of the realm of the YouTube business. So, without further ado, I want to let you know who the winners were of the best parts of War Robots. So this is in no particular order. Mr. Eli M, and I'll put it in the description below. Brandon Ochoa. Sorry if I mess up your all's names. Ziggy Nation. Barnabas Baxter. MC Panda 255. Emperor of Robots and Guns. Halo 11. Defenders SOC. M.A.A.K Gaming, and Akshay Brawler. So there you go. So the 10 folks that were randomly selected with the generator thing in YouTube. I don't know what it's called. But without further ado, I want to jump into this particular video. It's something a little different that I'm going to try. And because I've coached a lot of athletes since starting in the fitness industry that I am in currently, video analysis is the go-to, I think, for improving one's awareness of their own performance and improving their actual performance. Because I always subscribe to, in every single aspect of life, I subscribe to the 80-20 rule, which is 80% is psychology and 20% mechanics. And when it comes to a lot of the variables that's in the game itself, a lot of it that we don't know exist, all the algorithms and stuff. There's some things that we just can't control, but we can control how we compose ourselves under stress, how we handle losses, how we handle mistakes, and just adversity on the battlefield itself. And I'm gonna try, analyzing the last match that I did, because I know that there were some mistakes that I made, and there were some really good moves that I did, and I really want to highlight that for myself so that I can see, via the video, I can see where I went right instead of focusing on where I went wrong. And hopefully I articulate everything on point. So I'm trying this ATR 2100 mic. I'm not used to, actually, if I get down to eye level, that'll probably be a little bit better. And it's actually more comfortable than sitting on this stability ball. It's good for stretching and exercise, but not like sitting and trying to do something like this. All right, so pardon me if I'm not getting, like, if I scrub too fast or too slow or whatever. I'm trying to make sure that I get everything, and I don't want the volume to be too high. All right, so as you, let me just get to the beginning. You can see that I have a very light load in my hangar, and the reason for that is I got the small bots and the medium bots because of the challenge for capturing beacons for this event. So I put in my fastest, lightest bots, and then my Lancelot here is equipped with a very rare setup, Tempest and two Mullet, I think Mullet T's, Mullet X, the medium ones, and then my Doc and Jesse, my Jesse having the 4 aphids, and then my Doc having the 4 Orkans, and as you can see, these two. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I like to scan around to see who's on my team and which bots they are, and what side they are on, the left or right, because you don't want all the fast bots to go to the left when all the slow bots are going to the right and to capture beacons. So I noticed here I had this opportunity to be able to get over to and I'll pause it right there, to get over to this far right beacon. The issue that if I didn't have a level, I think it's a level 10 or level 11 Gareth, which is absolutely incredibly fast and agile, I would have probably been killed at this point because of this griffin. And a lot of the times, this is a mistake that I just made, a lot of the times these griffins are not going to jump diagonally into this lane. They're going to either jump over here to get this beacon, they're usually in clumps, or they'll jump from this point over to about here so that they can start pursuing the center beacon. Rarely do they come in here, but I should have known that because I should have been watching, you know, the distances of these particular bots. Because when I say the distances, when I'm coming from this area, my spawn point, when I'm coming up the lane, if I'm looking straight ahead and I see these three bots, this bot is slowly creeping forward, 910, 905, 900, 855. This one over here is staying at 950, 950, 950, and that person is moving to my far right, which is their far left. I know that they're going lateral. They're not coming forward. But if I see this guy here going 900, 745, 610, I know that they're getting closer in the direction that they're heading. And you can see why I, you know, could have been absolutely destroyed. Right here, you can see he starts to drop his Columbus's and pins. That's the sign that you look for when you see an RDB heading in your direction. As soon as you see that little speck right there, speck, speck, speck. They haven't become such visible specks yet, but right. Well, excuse me. You see how they're getting brighter here, and so because he's jumping in, he's shooting in this direction. I'm already heading in this direction, but the splash radius is pretty significant with these. So that's how I could have been, you know, destroyed. But I was able to get by without getting touched, and I was shocked by that. Here, this is, you know, a sticky situation because a lot of people will hug this wall here because these guys, and you can tell it's an Ansel shield. It's probably a Carnage. That person has a the potential of having tridents. Now tridents will again absolutely destroy a Gareth. He's within that 600 meter range. I only have 350. He could have shot those six, you know, if he has two of them, 6 trident rounds, and depending on the level, I could have been just done. I mean, it would have been a wasted bot. So I'm looking in the corner of my eye to see what kind of weapons he has, or not the corner of my eye, but the I'm facing that way, but so that I can improve my point of view, my vision, I guess. Here, the reason why I keep going around in circles here is because I know that this guy, the RDB, is still waiting for me. He's waiting for me to come out because I've already got this beacon. He's waiting for me to come out and kind of sweep in to start, you know, pursuing the center beacon. So when I circle in this area here, I know that he's going to fall for that, and he's going to think that I'm going to be jumping out into the middle of into the open, and he's going to start firing his rounds. I want him to completely deplete all of his rounds so that they start trickling out, because it's going to give me opportunity to get out of there without getting destroyed. Or I could have turned around and gone, I mean, because I can't turn the camera around, but I could have gone around and then come back into center beacon, but whatever. So because I know that he has thunders, I'm going to pursue him as much as possible, and then he's going to end up turning away, which, you know, is pretty wise. Actually sitting down, sitting on this is a little bit more comfortable. I'm just going to hold it. All right. You see how he just fired his rounds just now? He fell for that. Meaning I was going to go out into the open. He actually fell for it, which is pretty good. But they're locking me down over here, which is making it difficult for me to start using this bot to get those beacons. So I'm trying to swoop in and out, swoop in and out, swoop in and out to try to distract him. And then this guy starts to, you know, try to creep on a come up like, you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's what I always think of when I think of someone creeping. I don't want to peek around the corner. Okay, so right there, that's a good thing here. I didn't want to get so close to this wall because of the splash radius of those Telumbuses and pens. So I decided that I was going to stop around here. Nope, actually, it's a little bit further back. Right here. So I'm trying to look this way so that I can see around the corner, but it's tricky because the splash radius of an RDB, or the RDB, is really bad. So it makes it very hard for you to peek around the corner without not getting affected by splash. So right here, I see that the outline. This is where paying attention to detail. The outline of his, the Tolumbus, the frame, I guess the lip or whatever, is facing center beacon. He's not facing me. So that's going to give me an opportunity to quickly get out of this little nook over here and get back into the battle. Mistake number 1 is that I waited right here. I should have depleted the rest of the rounds in the Tehran instead of doing this, because I could have maximized the damage that or the free shots that I was able to get when dude jumped up to pursue whoever was on, you know, his watch list, you know, over in center beacon. See, I only got basically 2 rounds of my Tehran, and then he was going to quickly turn around because he's already depleted his entire salvo of both his pins and his Telumbuses. He has his trickling of his rounds, so it gave me a bigger window to get out of this little area. I see this guy pursues his jump because he's firing on whoever's over here, and I have a fresh round for Tehrans, and, you know, magnums are, you know, negligible damage, and I want to try to help finish that guy off. And because I've already committed my attention to this area here for that split second, I already know that this guy, and this guy are already pursuing center beacon because they know that no one is in my shoulder, my back, the right corner where I just came from. And they know that all of us are kind of in this area out here. And when I start to pursue him, I want to quickly turn to make sure that this guy isn't jumping up to, you know, I think a level 12 RDB can destroy my Gareth. That's 67,000. That's not a lot of hit points. All right. I know that his shield is intact. This guy is a squishy target, as I forget, Stupendous or Adrian. I think it's Stupendous. He's always talking about squishy targets. Yeah, but this guy here, I know that he's gonna eat up my rounds, and I'm just gonna waste him on this Lancelot, provided he turns and opens up his side or his back. Then it's a different story. But I really want to get this Carnage because he's showing the aggression towards our beacon. Alright, so this guy's shield is broken, but I know that Charlie Bear over here in the corner is waiting for his opportunity to pounce. Try to finish this guy off. And I'm trying to keep this guy down, but I don't really have to worry so much about him because I got Charlie Bear or whatever. He seems to be after me. And I didn't realize that I only had my Tehran left. And that was just I don't know, I was just seeing how much more I can dish out with having one Tehran on a Gareth that's looks like armless or shoulderless. I was thinking that this guy was going to jump out into the open, but he didn't. And so I made the mistake of not paying attention to... Okay, so there's the mindset change. Here, I'll show you right. How did I skip that far ahead? Mindset shift. We're looking at the psychology of sport. Mindset shift. I realized right now is it shifted here when I realized I had no Magnum. My health was at 50, 56, 53. This guy, he's going to be dead soon. I don't know what's going on in this area over here yet. And so I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at it as a disability. I am liable. I'm making the load heavier on my team because my Gareth isn't top notch shape. It's not fast as it was when it was full health. It can't dish out as much damage as it could be if it was with the Magnum. So I'm just going to kind of meander in the battlefield and try to put out some damage to, go towards my silver payout at the end instead of dropping this bot. But in the other school of thought is you go until you're dead, but the consequence is damage output and efficiency. So it all depends on where your mindset is and how many bots you have left, because you of course don't want to dump your bot if it's freaking at the beginning of the game or like midway and you only have like 2 bots left. You want to use every bot to its max in that case. So here I know that I think he has, doesn't he have what is it, the ADB, which is the Pinata organ combo? But the consequence to this not really paying attention, or not paying attention, I'm sorry, of not maximizing this bot's potential, because I see the limitations of him now. It's of him, the Gareth, of her, could be the her, of the amount of hit points I have left and the fact that I only have one weapon. I am doing no strategy. I'm not problem solving on the fly, and I'm not taking into account that I need to keep scanning to see how far each of these guys are away from me. If I know how far they are, I know that the probability of me getting shot at is going to be lessened. Bam. Instead of immediately turning to go back behind the wall, I just kind of chilled out here, to get some sun. All right. The reason why I picked this bot is because I saw a lot of people starting to surround Center Beacon, and there's a lot of opportunities for me to throw out my aphids and land with some good success rate around this particular area because I have cover. I know that he's the closest, the biggest threat to me, because that guy with the ADB, which is what I just fired on just now, I can outrun his rounds, but the other guys I can't. So I want to get him out of the equation. This guy, I see him as low-lying fruit, especially because he just jumped. And so I'm trying to pursue him, and my target locked on the person that was closest to me on the left, like you just saw. I did get the kill, but that wasn't an intentional. This guy over here, I'm not trying to use his answer shield, though it's probably wise. I want to get him out of here because he's just distracting the other guys that are on my team. This guy here, this is the mistake that a lot of Griffin pilots make when they jump. They jump straight up, especially knowing that and evidence that there is someone with aphids in the area. The last thing you want to do is jump when you don't know that the other people that have the aphids are not ready and locked on you, because this is the most vulnerable because of that. The landing, I think it's like 1 second, like you stick in place, and then the bot can move. So I'm knowing that the aphids are going to go straight down on his forehead like a droopy sack. All right, still the same thing, putting pressure on the guys that are the closest to the center beacon. This guy's still Cell over here trying to push the left. Push his left, which is our right. What I should have done is shoot my aphids while in movement so that it limited, you know, the impact of this guy's aphids. I was actually shocked that the aphids actually cleared that little lip. And the first round that I shot at him, I thought I locked on him, but it chose this guy instead first because of the distance from me. Because he was closer. But this guy here, because I saw that this particular round landed and went over the wall, I committed immediately when I saw that round went over the wall. That's what I like about the speed of the quick draw of the Jesse. Mistake here is I should have been paying attention to, and I'll show you why. Right here. This is the very, very common sticking place of a lot of bots. And when I started to actually withdraw from, you know, pursuing this guy, I had 4 and 5 seconds. I had about 5 seconds until my aphids are going to be replenished. And instead of coming out here in the obstruction freeway, which is over here, not here, I went over here because I wasn't thinking. I ended up getting stuck on this like little lip. Not lip. What do they call it? Not getting stuck, but I end up not going over the smooth part of this area over here, because if you jump off a little curb or something, you get stuck right there, which is where you become vulnerable. You already see that he starts to fire his rounds immediately, knowing that right there. See, he's already hit the wall, but he's aiming this way, and then they start to come out, and I can't. You know, I can't. What's the word? I can't avoid them, and so it depleted my health even further. I had with the old aphids. I mean, we can hit them from right here. It'll literally go right over the wall, like you shoot it, and then it curves. Oh my gosh, I miss those old aphids. But these, I have to make sure that I don't have any obstruction. It's almost at like a 45-degree angle, not like 90. Yeah, it's 90. I didn't even bother looking at what he was rolling in, and that's where the issue came, because so I locked on him. Essentially I locked on him. I'm going to shoot here, and then the aphids are going to curve. But he already starts to fire, knowing that someone is in a bot that's quicker, and it's going into his zone, and he's going to guide me into his fire, essentially. So he owned me on that one. I love this bot, but I don't particularly like the Terrans on it. The Terrans, I don't know, for some reason they just seem, the rounds kind of eject slower. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to using Orkans and Panadas, Columbuses and Pins, and Mollets. You see how much time is like, it just seems like it's just like do. The reason why I'm pursuing this guy is because I know that he is he's not able to compete for with the damage that I'm able to put out, and I'm trying to stay around at an angle. Well, I can't really show it now, but at an angle, prevent those Zeuses. Like, I shouldn't have jumped here because I knew that this bot's jump is not like the Griffin. I mean, it's almost like the Griffin is Michael Jordan, and the ROG is me. I can't jump. But yeah, I'm just basically toying with these guys because you know, the longer they're focused on me, my boys can get the beacons. I normally wouldn't do this. And this is, again, I wasn't paying attention, and I decided that I was going to start pursuing the person that just shot me from the side. I see him getting his rounds off, and they're successful. I see him over here. I don't know how much distance he is. I see that this little mound here is going to be obstructing my fire, and I make a stupid spur of the moment decision to jump, and it opened up all that fire that's on my right side. This is a new configuration. I'm still on the fence about it. I'm able to put out some massive damage, and I like the physical shield. The speed, don't necessarily love the speed, especially when you're rolling in a long range weapon like this on a map like this. You're not able to evade. You're not able to get the heck out of there. A Carnage, if you had two Tempests on a Carnage, you're able to dip out of there when you run out of rounds, especially when people are like, hey, he has Tempest, get him. But I'm seeing that this guy here, bad dog, is up at the top of the little mound here, and it's going to be a couple of seconds before he gets down, so I'm just going to unload as much as I can on him. And I specifically just targeted him. I didn't look at the Galahad that's right next to him, because I'm not going to be able to break his shield with level 10s. Just not. This guy here, the Carnage, I'm not even going to worry about that, because I have squishy targets like this to try to take out. I keep trying to put this guy in, back in around the rock or whatever here, so that I can start pursuing center. I notice that this guy is not going to be able to do much to my shield, my physical shield, and this guy isn't going to be able to do much to my physical shield unless I expose my side, or I expose my shield for too long, when that Zeus can, you know, put really heavy damage on me. I'm balancing, looking left and right here. I'm immediately targeting this guy, but in my periphery, I am looking at the guy with the Zeus, this guy here. Even though I'm facing this guy, I'm firing this guy, my thumbs are on the screen firing at this guy, okay? But my eyes are on this Carnage. Literally, I'm staring at the Carnage while I'm firing on this Galahad. The reason for that is because I see that he's pursuing someone that's behind me and to my right. And I know that he has about 4 seconds left of his Zeus that he just fired until he starts putting it on me. If I'm still facing him within that 4-5 second, or in that 5 or 6 second mark, he's going to be able to shoot that Zeus at my exposed area on my ribs. Ribs. Yeah. So as soon as I start to feel like I'm making not enough progress on this Galahad, I'm going to turn and I'm going to face right here in the middle, so that he can't get in on me and he can't get in on me. Well, this guy is going to have more of a higher probability of being able to do more damage to me, because of his rounds go around my shield. But this guy goes right center mass into the middle of the shield. And then I didn't realize that this guy here was coming up, and also this guy, Charlie Bear again. So now this Galahad is getting me from the side. This Zeus is about to get me from the side. I'm paying attention to the weapon I think is going to be causing me the most damage. So I'm focusing my whole body on that particular target, which is a big mistake, because a lot of small, low-level weapons at the same time can destroy you faster than a high-level couple of weapons. Low-level mini weapons do more damage at one time than the latter, what I just mentioned. So that's where I made the mistake. I should have, actually, I don't even know if I could have avoided this situation. This is just one of those situations, like, I don't know, whatever. So I decided to dump the bot. Because I was on my phone, and this is the biggest gripe that I have with playing on my phone versus playing on my iPad, is that the corner shooting and selective firing is really, really, really hard. And I'm still getting used to the orientation of the Doc's weapons, the ones that end up, when you do the quick what do they call it? Damn it, the quick draw. When you change out the weapons, is that the weapons that I have right now are on top. These are default my fire buttons for these two Orkans. When they switch out and then these get on top, it becomes these two. So top and bottom, top and bottom. So I'm constantly having to look down and figure out which one I have to fire. And plus, if I end up firing, trying to do selective firing on here, I end up hitting the other one. And it's just like I might as well just hit the whole fire button. I start firing as soon as I know that this Orkan has line of sight. I don't even worry about this one here because I'm just going to fire them both at the same time. And because I'm walking to the right, I'm aiming left of him so that the rounds appear to be doing that, like the parabola, the trajectory, a lateral trajectory of each round. Damn, I forgot all the terminology. So I'm walking him in. I'm still aimed left of his body because the rounds are going to be going into him because he's going to his right, my left. I'm going to my right, his left. That's just the way that you want to guide the rounds in. At this point, I'm freaking out because I'm out of rounds. I'm trickling rounds, and I'm always late to get this quick draw because I accidentally hit over here or over here because of where the little icon is on my phone. So I meant to do the quick draw, but it didn't work out. Here, this is when the quick draw I was like looking for the freaking button. It was like, where the heck is the button? Oh my god! And I couldn't do it, so I just ended up running. I was like, man, I'm gonna punch him in the sternum and run. Droopy Sack is a runner. He starts ish, but he doesn't finish it. But in this game, he do. Now I know that this guy's trying to lock us down, the guy with the Zeus. So the next best bet is for us to pursue the right side of this wall and try to get over here. Now this is when I'm trying to corner shoot, but I don't look. Man, where's my rewind? When I start pursuing this guy here, I am in no way paying attention, which I should be, paying attention to the other three that's still out here. I think it's one. That might be two. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. But this guy over here that starts to fire on me when I start to engage this target, right here. He's already shooting, and it's lighting up the Ansel shield. And I should have been paying attention because the way that these rounds are, the explosion, those are of missiles. That's not shrapnel from the Thunder. So I should have quickly realized that somebody over here was shooting across my face, and those rounds are hitting the Ansel shield of the Carnage that's right next to me. That's when I should have quickly retreated back and then probably waited for this guy to eject all of his rounds and then wait for this guy to come out here and have him walk into my Orkan fire. And but it didn't work out that way. And so this guy, just noticing these things, this guy right here, when I start to fire on him, actually when I turn around, he notices that I'm going to start firing on him. He uses his jump to get far away from that 300 mark, between 0 and 300 mark, because he knows that he can out jump and jump out of the way faster than an Orkan or Panada can hit once shot. So I lose my bots. Normally what I do is just leave the battle. But in this case, I decided that I was going to stick around because it was a pretty good back and forth, this match. And my guys were putting in their work, needless to say. We did lose. But I knew that this was going to provide me some feedback on the damage that I did and some beacons. So let's see what the outcome was. So yeah, I was able to kill 5. I got 3 beacons. Yeah, I'm not so much worried about this as the this. Oh my gosh. This area right here. Rating. I'm seeing a lot of win, 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 and then like loss, 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 loss. It just keeps going. Anyways, congratulations to the winners. Thank you for your patience, everyone. And but yeah, let's get this thing crack-a-lacking. And yeah, as always, I hope you, your family, and your friends are happy, healthy, and safe. And I hope that everything is cool and you guys are grinding it on the battlefield. So talk to you soon, y'all. Peace.